talk about electric power and the consideration that a new data center may be installed near Peachtree City.
For months,
a curious convergence of events.
Rumors swirling.
A data center coming to Peachtree City.
Tension building.
Let residents ask questions and be part of the conversation.
In the halls of Peachtree City Council, about an hour southwest of Atlanta.
James Clifton, Fielding Ridge Precinct.
One resident at the center of it all, adamant that city officials have plans to bring in a data center.
On January 29, 2026, Peachtree City Council met with the Fayette County Development Authority. I've been called a conspiracy theorist and liar for voicing these concerns. I will not stop.
We want transparency, right? That's the biggest issue.
Clifton is campaigning for Fayette County Commission District 3, where part of Peachtree sits, but he says he only sought election after concerned citizens asked him to.
Since I got involved with trying to uncover the truth about these data centers, over there past that point, all the way down past that sound over there.
Clifton takes us around Lake McIntosh Park, pointing to the direct water access, the sprawling acreage, and the location. Atlanta News First investigates Untangled, a network of connections related to this property. Real estate records show a February 11th purchase of 1,100 acres of this land. The purchaser? Property Reserve, Inc. They transferred the land to a Georgia company named Coweta McIntosh LLC. Although we don't know who owns that LLC, the name listed next to it on deed paperwork is Richard Ferry. Previous news reporting on residential and commercial development in the area ties Richard Ferry to Brent Scarborough and Company, a developer that helped build other data centers in Metro Atlanta. The business and Richard Ferry did not respond to our request for comment.
What makes you think it's not a coincidence?
I saw how QTS came to Fayetteville. I saw exactly what happened, and I promised myself I would not let that happen again.
He's referring to this project 30 miles away, the QTS data center being built in Peachtree's neighboring city of Fayetteville. QTS calls itself the global digital infrastructure leader, with nearly 50 data centers operating or in development across the U.S. alone.
See that beautiful view? It would be heartbreaking to see those trees cut down and a massive data center put on it. It just is unfathomable to me that that's even a consideration.
Part of this land sits just outside the border of Peachtree City in Coweta County. If Peachtree City wanted it, they'd have to annex it or add the land to the city's jurisdiction. City officials maintain this land is not a part of an annexation plan, nor is there any deal with QTS. But discussions at a January Peachtree City Council retreat could suggest otherwise.
Well, I think for us, it's going to come down to this annexation study and because stuff like this, if it's a data center or whatever it is, if we want to get to the point where we can really work on the homestead and get relief for people, where are we going to put it where people still feel like, okay, we're still Peachtree City. We're not just plopping these things in, and we'll have to be strategic with Nikki.
Council members received a presentation from Fayette County Development Authority President and CEO Nikki Vanderslice.
We are not trying to bring QTS or any other data center to Peachtree City. We have not talked to anyone about any data centers about coming to Peachtree City.
Nikki maintains it was not a pitch, and the Development Authority has no role in attracting any data centers.
I want when we have that conversation that you've gotten most of your questions answered, and that you've gotten to a place that you go, okay, I'm 75% there, and that this is closing the deal. Not I'm 25% there, and we gotta. Yeah, I don't want to put my reputation out there to say come to this meeting, and then they go, that was a waste of 4 hours of my life.
Peachtree City Mayor Kim Lerner.
Doesn't that kind of seem like some kind of backdoor planning?
Oh, no. In fact, what she was telling us is basically don't waste my time, or don't waste a data center's time. If they're not wanted in our community, they're not coming. And we are not interested as a city council. We are not interested in entertaining any proposals.
I didn't hear anything in the meeting that said we're not interested in any data centers. It sounded like you guys were kind of interested.
I don't think so. I've never been interested in a data center in Peachtree City for a long list of good reasons. Number 1, space. Number 2, community impact. Number 3, environmental.
Let's get all together and talk about it seriously. What are we going to do? And if we're going to do it, what actions do we need to take?
The audio you've heard is only a portion of a larger discussion on annexation and new possible industries for Peachtree. These specific recordings were not initially released by the city when first requested. The city produced the additional recordings 3 weeks later.
At the time that it was requested for all the audio recordings weren't released. Why not?
So we always first of all, I want to point out that state law requires that we keep minutes if decisions are made. In other words, who made a motion, a second, and how people voted. That's important. Peachtree City goes way beyond what is required by state law.
The mayor says it took time to confirm the recording secretary had remaining files.
We discovered that she had a backup. That's how professional she is. She had a backup. They were provided in full. And again, they're available online.
That does seem kind of convenient that the portion that was missing was the portion that included data centers.
It's not convenient. It happens. We take breaks. We go to lunch. We toured a recreational facility, and maybe the audio was stopped while we were on break and she forgot to turn it on again when she came back.
The mayor is adamant this retreat was never an attempt to orchestrate a data center deal through the annexation of Lake McIntosh.
Even if Peachtree City wanted to annex into Coweta County, they don't want us.
You said they don't want us, so that would imply that you've talked to them about this.
Oh, I talk to them all the time. I keep good relationships with the commissioners in Coweta. And even if we were to come knocking, they've pointed out that the state law says that they have the right to refuse us.
So you asked them about the land in Lake McIntosh to say if we were interested in annexing into this portion, would you all welcome it?
I've talked in general terms about whether they would welcome Peachtree City, and the answer was flat out no.
You haven't explicitly talked to Coweta County about that acreage.
We may have talked about that in conjunction with a lot of other topics of conversation, just like data centers were part of an overall conversation about industry in Peachtree City.
Lerner argues that as a 26-year resident, she values the green space and serenity Peachtree City offers and says a data center would disrupt that reality. Despite the paper trail, she vows as long as she is mayor, that type of infrastructure is not welcome here.
How do you prove a negative? When there's no data center coming, how do I prove that? There isn't one. Look around. There hasn't been a proposal. We don't have the zoning, and we don't have any interest on city council.
The mayor is firm.
Isn't this awesome?
But the skepticism
This place is beautiful.
neighbors like Clifton have is not going away.
If we had transparency, I think that the public would show up and they would say that they are against this proposition, and our elected leaders and the developer don't want that.